Good morning, traders. It is Wednesday, November 6th. Going to be a big day, probably a big 4 years, I think, going on. Trump and Elon are now more or less president. So we're going to have, I think, some pretty big changes in the whole world and the economy, what's going on. Stock market is surging higher. We have the Russell 2000 up about 6% this morning. Massive move. Obviously, Trump pro-business, Elon pro-business. I think those two together are going to create quite a punch for the markets, clean things up. Not the markets, but the government and policies and all kinds of stuff in terms of Elon trying to cut spending and not hurt jobs, but actually do things good for not only America, but the whole planet. So it seems like it's going to be very bullish for the economy, the world, and we're seeing everybody pile into the stock market today based on that. We've got the Dow up over 1,000%. The Dow's up 3% this morning. Big pop to some new all-time highs. We have the SP 500 up 2 1/3%, hitting new all-time highs. And the Nasdaq's lagging a little bit. It hasn't made new highs. It's up about 1.7%, but having a big pop as well. And we're seeing definitely big moves in the financial space. We got XLF. The financials are up about 5.5% this morning, set to open sharply higher. And of course, Tesla with Elon there is up fairly dramatically this morning, up about 10% or more in pre-market trading. Or even 20%. Let's just take a quick look here. Let's see what we're at. Yesterday it closed. It is up about 12.5%. Tesla this morning. Obviously, Trump is going to help favor what is going to help Elon do what he wants to do in his businesses. So we're seeing definitely the markets move. But the small caps, the general stock market like the SP 500, which is up more than the Nasdaq, we're seeing a broad market rally. And this is what we talked about yesterday in the band update or the afternoon update. Yesterday was a broad market rally. Money moved into almost everything. And that is a sign of strength. When we looked at the SPY yesterday, I talked about how this scenario that we're in right now is very similar to this one right here, and that it can lead to a very explosive move. We've also talked about how this whole consolidation back in August is setting up for a big move in the SP 500, about an 8% or so rally, and how the Nasdaq itself was pointing to, whoops, if I can undo that. The Nasdaq itself is pointing to let me go back to the Nasdaq, to about a 16% rally. And of course, it has put in this big consolidation, which it hasn't even broken out of yet, that points to about a 16% upside, depending on how things unfold with the election, how we could get this final big push up higher in the market. So lots of stuff unfolding. We are net long the markets here, and we'll see how things unfold going forward over the next few days. Now, today is going to be a massive gap to the upside. As we know, we're not a huge fan of gaps, especially when it happens on news. This could be more of a gap and go, meaning it gaps higher and it keeps running until the market's exhausted, and then eventually the economic cycle pulls back and we see things unfold. This could be an exhaustion blow off top, meaning big gap up, huge run for several days or weeks. Eventually it fizzles out and rolls over. We'll just have to see. But overall, this is in our favor, and there's nothing we can do about it. We're just going to ride it higher, hopefully hit some more targets on our positions, be able to, have that trend reversal eventually trigger at a higher level and allow us to lock in more gains as things unfold. So obviously we got a lot of stuff moving today. We have China's market dropped with Trump getting in. Obviously, Trump is trying to keep everything in America, trying to make America great and all of that stuff. So China knows that now they're going to have tariffs, probably like Mexico's probably going to have tariffs on stuff. Borders probably going to get closed. So there's going to be massive changes. So we're seeing all kinds of markets change. We have the dollar today skyrocketing, biggest rally since 2020. Massive one-day rally in the dollar. I've been bullish on the dollar for quite a while. I'm talking about, I think, a very, very strong dollar, which is why I always talk about holding U.S. dollars if you're a Canadian or international trader, because I think the U.S. dollar is going to do exceptionally well over the next year or so. And you want to hold your assets in dollars, because we could see a 15% rally in the dollar. Just between the Canadian dollar alone, I think about a 15% gain in just currency conversion, which is pretty decent on its own. On top of that, we're seeing oil move down today, picking up speed to the downside. If we look at the 10-minute chart down below, it's picking up speed. Again, Trump talking about why fight all these wars overseas for oil when the U.S. has got supposedly enough reserves, and he calls it liquid gold, under the ground in the United States. Trying to cut costs, all kinds of stuff. So this is probably going to play in and send oil potentially lower, because it could crack open the U.S. or North America oil reserves and mean there's tons of supply available. So we're going to see lots of stuff unfolding. It'd be interesting to see what energy stocks do today. They're probably up simply because everything is up today, pretty much, other than gold. Gold and silver are down, so strong dollar, people piling into business, into risk on, into stocks. They're moving out of the defensive play, so gold unwinding and pulling back, down 2.4%. Silver is down 4%. And all this makes sense simply when we go and we look at the chart of, let's go look at the monthly chart of gold. We've talked about this huge cycle and how it's supposed to play out, or not how it's supposed to play out, but how the Fibonacci extension plays to the 2750 area, and how once we hit this level, we need to be prepared for a major change in the economy. And so we've hit that level, and we're starting on the monthly chart to pull back, and we could start to see gold pull back and unwind and have hit that level. And maybe the stock market's not going to top right here. I think we could see it potentially run the NASDAQ or the stock market in general run another 8 to 16% to the upside, have one of these parabolic type of moves where things just skyrocket up, and then after that they can come straight back down, which is typically how things unfold when it happens around news. So it is definitely going to be interesting. The nice thing is we follow price, and we've been in position for this. We've been slowly managing our position, locking in gains, and depending on the positions we have, other than gold position, everything is set to open higher today, which is really exciting. And we just continue to let the markets unfold, and the charts tell us more or less what to do, and we kind of follow those trends. And yesterday was a really good sign for that broad market rally, and at the end of the day, knowing that big money is moving in, confident that I think Trump was going to get in, and Elon, and I'm sure Trump must be pretty happy to have the world's biggest taxpayer on his side and the world's smartest guy on his side. That's got to feel pretty good for him. And to be back in president, have a 4-year gap in between, is pretty good. I mean, now he's going to come back with a fresh new view. Just like when you learn something new and then you sleep on it, the next day you wake up, you're much better at it. You see it differently. This could be very interesting shake up for the U.S. and for the whole world of how things could change. And then add AI in there over the next couple of years. Definitely going to be pretty wild. So we'll see how things unfold, but right now, definitely big volatility, huge, I say volatility, not in a negative way, but huge price action, meaning volatility is dropping sharply. We see the VIX down 22% today. Let me just go back to the daily chart here. The VIX is down 22%, saying there isn't a whole lot of fear. The put-call ratio is probably going to drop dramatically once the market opens. Everybody will be buying call options. We're probably going to see our FOMO indicator like ridiculously, maybe the highest level I've ever seen based on the price action so far today. And we'll just see how that unfolds, and just we ride this market higher and trim profits. And then once the market does have a pullback and pause, it'll allow us to either get repositioned to get fully back invested into the stock market if it does start to turn back up, or if it rolls over and keeps going lower, we'll be moving into a different asset. So it doesn't matter what happens here. We're able to navigate these trends and manage our risk, which is the most important part. So we don't have to worry about taking big losses. Anyways, that's it for now. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.